What's going on, Notre Dame fans? I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel. We're with blueandgold.com, Blue and Gold Illustrated, on Notre Dame's campus, where the Fighting Irish had an offense-defense scrimmage today inside the Irish Athletics Center. Jack, do we really even know who won? I'm not sure it matters. Was it the defense?
I believe the defense won. That's what the score indicated. So the defense will wear the blue jerseys from now until at least the next jersey scrimmage in fall camp. So we have that piece of information.
It was a convoluted scoring system, but it's of note because Marcus Freeman said right behind us here at Notre Dame Stadium a week from today in the blue-gold game, you're going to see something very similar where it's just a bunch of offense versus defense reps, not really a full-style game where you have rosters, you have teams, you have a winner and a loser. And that way it's either going to be the offense wins or the defense wins. And like we said today, it was the defense. But, Jack, I kind of want to start with the offense because everyone wants to know what these quarterbacks look like. You had an extra eye on the offensive side of the ball. What'd you see from Steve Angeli, C.J. Carr, Kenny Minchey?
Well, we should note, and this will be important for the quarterbacks in a second, but part of the big reason that Marcus Freeman said they're not doing a full blue-gold game is that they don't have the numbers right now because they have 9 scholarship offensive linemen right now, and one of them was a defensive lineman last year. So they don't have the numbers to field 2 full offensive lines. I mean, they had the walk-on Robbie Woolen was the second-team left tackle. So all 3 quarterbacks are getting plenty of experience with rushers in their faces because it was not close between the offensive line and the defensive line today, which is a big reason the defense won that scrimmage. I mean, the only player I think we can say is a projected starter on the offensive line today is Charles Jagasaw, who's actually practicing because you got Billy Schrouth, Anthony Knapp still dealing with injuries, right. Ashton Craig injured, Emil Wagner resting. So what did we see from the quarterbacks? Some good, some bad from each of them. I think starting with Steve Angeli, I thought he was the best in 7-on-7. I did not particularly like what I saw from him in team. I didn't think he was all that accurate when the bullets started flying, when rushers were in his face. He had some misses that I think he would like to have back. But again, I mean, we have to qualify everything here with it's been we've seen one practice. Who knows if this is indicative of what's been going on the rest of spring? But all we can do is tell you what we see. And I thought Steve Angeli was third today. I don't know who was better between Kenny Minchey and C.J. Carr. I thought both did some good things. Starting with the bad, Minchey threw a bad interception and an RPO to the kind of from one hash to the opposite sideline, intercepted by Isaiah Dunn, walk-on cornerback who's been around for a while. It was probably a play that he should have just given to the running back. C.J. Carr was scrambling, almost threw an interception. Probably just should have thrown it away. Ended up being no harm, no foul. Both quarterbacks, Carr and Minchey, led a touchdown drive. Carr had the best play of the day. Beautiful throw on a deep post. On like 4th and 10, rushers in his face, blitz came home, deep bomb to Elijah Burris, perfect throw caught in the back of the end zone, excellent play. Minchey led a touchdown drive that ended with a 1-yard Aeneas Williams touchdown. So again, all 3 quarterbacks, some good, some bad. We're no closer to figuring out who's going to start week 1 in Miami.
I thought the Kenny Minchey touchdown drive was the most impressive drive of the day, so that's worth noting that he can take a team down the field like he did. A little bit of scrambling. Eli Raridan was a big part of that, actually got Notre Dame not just into the red zone, but into in-goal situation where, like you said, Aeneas Williams finished that off. Notre Dame defense, I thought up front, the front 7 was really good because before that Aeneas Williams touchdown, there was a play where a couple of defensive backs, actually, I think it was Adon Schuler and Christian Gray, kind of converged out on the edge and made sure the ball carrier didn't get into the end zone. So you saw a lot of that, like you were alluding to. You saw a lot of pile-ups in the middle.
No run game whatsoever today. We should also note that Jeremiah Love suffered a hamstring injury. We're going kind of back and forth here. Yep. But Jeremiah Love, hamstring injury. He was pulled out of practice. Marcus Freeman said he believes it's not serious. So appears to be a false alarm there, but we'll obviously keep you posted on that front.
What is serious, and this gets back to what you were saying about the offensive line and a walk-on needing to get second-team tackle reps. Gerby Lambert, this is serious. He had shoulder surgery on an injured labrum. Those are definitely easier to come back from a knee, so Marcus Freeman said that you should see him in the fall, but basically his entire summer is going to be wiped out in terms of real legit workouts and strength training and whatnot. So that's a setback for him. It's a setback for this offensive line, getting back to that quite frankly looked young, as Marcus Freeman said in his press conference, and the defensive line, by way of having more guys available, starters type quality 1-2 deep type players available, just you saw Junior Tui Halamaka flash. I think Joshua Burnham made a couple plays. If you go to the inside, you saw Jason Anye coming back from his personal struggles, and I thought he looked really good today. Just up and down the line. Cole Mullins coming off the edge. I saw number 42 flashing a whole bunch. This was probably the most that we've ever seen him do in a practice. So up and down the line, up front, I thought it looked really good. The linebacker combinations are going to be awesome to watch this year because you saw Drake Bowen out there with Jalen Sneed, and I will say Jalen Sneed made the first really good defensive play of this scrimmage. I think it was a swing screen type pass to Jadarian Price, and Jalen Sneed, even carrying all the weight that he's up to, 235, 238, whatever it is, he got out there on the edge and said, hey, Jadarian, I'm going to tackle you here in the backfield. So he looks good. Bowen looks good. You saw Kingston Viliamu-Asa out there with Madden Faremo. I think Madden Faremo played both Will and Mike at some time. So the versatility with the linebackers, you're seeing it. But then I also want to talk about the safeties. Like, it wasn't just, the offensive line is being outworked by the defensive line. I saw Tay Johnson coming up and making plays at the line of scrimmage. Kennedy Urlacher, Jadon Blair made a play at the line of scrimmage. These guys are running the alley really well. We hear that buzz term all the time, that phrase, oh yeah, I love to run the alley. They weren't tested much in the secondary, I would say, because there really wasn't much downfield passing game, and maybe you can get more to what the offense looked like in regard to that. But in terms of getting up and making tackles and being physical, we've heard that with the safeties throughout the spring. I thought we saw it today, and that's pretty encouraging. Getting back to the offensive side, you mentioned no running game. You mentioned the offensive line not allowing these quarterbacks to really throw the ball downfield today or really make any plays. So what do you kind of take away holistically from what you saw from that side of the ball?
I think you take away – I mean, you can take away what the quarterbacks look like under pressure. I thought Minchie, I don't think faced as much pressure as Carr and Angeli. I thought, in general, Carr handled the pressure a little bit better than Angeli. I thought Angeli was a little uncomfortable in the pocket. Carr certainly had his moments there. Again, there was a rep where he definitely should have thrown it away.
I will say on that one, though, I think we're talking about the one where he threw it kind of downfield to the right sideline. At least on that play, worst comes to worst, it was almost like an arm punt. The Kenny Minchie interception, if that's a legit scholarship defensive back, that might be a pick six.
Yes.
Isaiah Dunn got tackled, I believe, but it was a type of throw where you're sitting on your couch and you're thinking, oh, no, don't make that one. So, and again, those are just two reps of the many that we saw today, but I would say that was kind of what I saw in those two plays.
Yeah, and I again, like the pocket presence that Carr showed on that deep post touchdown to Elijah Burris, it's also the know-how as like, all right, this is an all-out blitz. The deep post is going to be open as long as you don't underthrow it. And I
threw it to the back line. Yeah. It was beautiful.
A beautiful throw. Again, the trust in him and his receiver Elijah Burris. Burris looked good. He was one of the standouts that I pointed out. A couple drops. One was, I think, an Angeli throw that was a little bit behind him that he should have caught. One was a Minchie throw on the run that was on the button that he definitely should have caught. Yep. But I think he was targeted the most by far today among the wide receivers. And again, like the wide receiver room, talk about beat up, like. It's Jaden Greathouse,
who we didn't really see much of in the team period.
We didn't see much of. I think KK Smith is the next most experienced receiver. He looked pretty good today. Eli Raridan took a tight end screen nearly for a touchdown, nearly for like a 40-yard touchdown. Nice play design by Mike Denbrock, but Raridan getting out and running. He looks smooth. He looks athletic. On that play, I thought Burris and Will Pauling looked great as a blocker on that tight end screen. He caught a couple passes in 7-on-7. He looked pretty good today. Those are kind of the offensive standouts. Again, it's tough when no one really has time to do anything, and the run game is just a black hole at the moment because of all the injuries to the offensive line. But that's just kind of what I saw. Again, we don't want to draw too many sweeping conclusions. It is one practice, and like half the team that you're going to see in the fall is on the shelf for one reason or another. But we're focusing on the quarterbacks, and the rest is kind of secondary right now.
Yeah, and there wasn't much to glean depth chart wise either. So if you're asking who's ahead of who, it was a hodgepodge type throw it together situation today on both sides of the ball. So, and again, that's what you're going to see in the blue gold game as well. I also want to say, if you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate y'all. We weren't able to film this practice, so if you're looking for some of the specific plays that we just mentioned, the B-roll that you're seeing is from the first or early 4 periods or so that we saw in this practice. I think that's pretty much all I have on the scrimmage front. We heard from Marcus Freeman. We both kind of agreed that it was a ho-hum press conference there. Nothing too groundbreaking, but does anything come to mind?
The specific mention of like this is Jalen Snead's best spring. We know he got his weight up. He's around 230, 235 right now. Max Bull is really happy with him. Marcus Freeman said this is Jalen Snead's best spring. The 4 years that they've both been at Notre Dame. This being Freeman's fourth year as head coach, Snead's fourth year in the program. I know we can be skeptical. Is like, all right, we've heard offseason hype about Jalen Snead before. He looked really good today. He looked really, really good. Tay Johnson, I also thought looked good on defense. Bryce Young had a sack. Cooked Owen Strebig, the freshman offensive tackle. Again, like you said, a bit of a blah press conference, but I thought the comment on Snead was interesting.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing that sticks out. Obviously, he dropped the Gerby Lambert news that I just gave to y'all as well. Really just some housekeeping things. Otherwise, the quarterback competition, if you're looking for a timeline,
not going to get one.
There is none, and it's not coming anytime soon in terms of a decision. Why would you do that when I honestly think, Jack, there's so much to be determined there based on what we saw today. You kind of gave a hierarchy on your own, but I don't think it was anything definitive enough to say.
No, and I should clarify that. Like,
no, you're good.
I didn't come away from this practice thinking like, oh, Carr's definitely the starter, or oh, Angeli's definitely out. Like this is still very much a three-man competition, and it'll stay that way for the foreseeable future.
What you are looking for is like little bits and pieces, though, of that looks like a starting quarterback. And I will say the best was saved for last. The CJ Carr throw that you documented where he stood in the pocket and he knew he was being converged on. And this was a day where quarterbacks were being converged on like crazy. But he knew if I stay in here just long enough, throw this thing up, he's probably going to be open or at least have a chance. And you love to see Elijah Burris come down with that one too, because this is a wide receiver group that needs to make more of those types of catches. So we will have more content coming throughout the week at blueandgold.com from Marcus Freeman, from what we saw in the scrimmage. Everything's leading up to April 12th Blue Gold game, I guess we'll call it. It's going to be another scrimmage. It's going to be right here at Notre Dame Stadium, and obviously we'll have coverage from that as well. So I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel, blueandgold.com, Blue and Gold Illustrated.